Well, when you're born with a name like Zembrowski, you tend to be very aware of the effect of a name on a person. So when I was working on my first show, Dr. Doctor, I made sure to pick names that I thought were appropriate to the characters. Well, Jeff Herbst really put it the best. Dr. Doctor really is a love letter to Door County. My family's been visiting Door County since before I was born, and I've camped in Peninsula State Park every summer of my life. And so we know the ins and outs and the nooks and crannies and the areas around it pretty well. And so when I started thinking about the show and the characters in it, I knew that I wanted to pay homage to the places that I love so well. Well, we can start right at the very top. The character of Jim Olsen. I literally just picked up a Door County phone book and looked to see what one of the most popular names was, and there were a ton of Olsens up in Door County. And what's funny is I didn't even know that there was a Jim Olsen Motors until I was driving to Door County for the first rehearsal of Dr. Doctor, and I was following somebody with one of those little stickers on the back of their car, and so that was completely accidental. Another little nod to Door County is the character of Julie Hagen, Doc's assistant, is actually named after Julie's restaurant right on the edge of Peninsula State Park in Fish Creek. And then also the character of Annie, the younger sister, is named after Annie's Ice Cream Cabin, which has not been around in probably 20 years, but it used to be in the old Ephraim Pottery Works cabin on 42. We would go to the beach and we would go to Annie's for ice cream every day when we were up in Door County when I was growing up. So that's a nice little nod to that part of my life. Bob Thorpe, the mayor of Sister Harbor, who Bill Tyson so wonderfully played in the show, takes his name from two Door County related sources. Thorpe is a name that should ring a bell with anybody who knows anything about Door County history. Asa Thorpe is credited as being the founder of Fish Creek. And Bob is a nod to the wonderful, wonderful Bob Yattree, the longtime owner of the Red Putter in Ephraim, who is also sadly no longer with us. And I know she's going to hate me for saying so, because it always makes her cry, but the character of Kathleen, the older sister, is named after Northern Sky's wonderful longtime stage manager, Neen Rock, who is without question one of the most wonderful humans I've ever met in my life. And then there's a couple of names that pop up in the show of characters that never even appear on stage. At one point, the founding mayor of Sister Harbor, Ira Weberg, is mentioned. And Weberg, of course, is named after Weberg Point in Peninsula State Park. Anybody who's driven along Shore Road will have seen that sign. And along those same lines, Mrs. Nelson, who seems to have a never-ending string of animals in need of treatment from Dr. Jim, takes her name from Nelson Point, which is just a little bit further north on Shore Road. What's next for me? Well, I'm working on a couple of different shows, and I guess where the name of the winning bidder of this auction item ends up is going to depend on which show Northern Sky thinks is going to be most appropriate for them to stage next. But I give you my Zembrowski pledge that the character that is named after you will be a memorable one.